Hey everyone, it's baze.djunkiii transmitting from Hamburg, Germany, back with a new video, and finally I'm able to shoot my chart haul video for like September 2016. I know it's nearly end of the month, but there were a lot of other things to do and time is a rare good these days, so it took me quite a while to shoot this video. But without further ado, let's get into that. I will show you a few CDs first and then go into vinyl, so you can check out my favorite releases for this month and stuff. Both stuff I got as promo and other stuff I bought myself, so let's get into that. First one comes from Norway. Skadedyr, I guess they're, the group is pronounced Kulturen on Kubra music. It's a label that you might have seen in some videos and also on my website, baze.djunkiii. Experimental jazz label, mostly also doing folk music, and this specific band, Skadedyr, is more like a 12-member get-together of members of the Norwegian jazz scene, and they're serving a wide range of stuff. Some more like jazz noir, some more bar jazz, some more sophisticated advanced stuff, and Kubra music in general is an interesting label. So if you see this logo somewhere, you gotta check that out. Most of their stuff is only available on CD as far as I know, but good stuff to check. Next one is in a similar vein, kind of. It's the International Nothing and Something, The Power of Negative Thinking. It's released on Monotype Records, also a label you have seen here as well. CD looks like this. There's a CD, opens up like this, and there's the back. Also an interesting concept. This is the band or the project, the International Nothing, with 2 additional members basically. So that's the and something in brackets in the artist name. Also on a kind of jazzy vibe at some point, also a little bit of post-rock here, also a little bit of blues, not blues, and some more experimental stuff, more organic music I'd say, and definitely also a great album cover. So if you're into the International Nothing, you're gonna check this out for sure. Also on the jazzy vein is this one by the Waterhole. The album is called 2. Looks like this if you take it out, and there's the inside of the CD, and totally sweet, that deer thing in here. And it's a Norwegian album as well, comes from an artist known as Eva Fitzenmeier, which is also using the alias by the Waterhole. This is how the CD looks like. Eva is, as far as I know, from Germany originally, but moved to Norway kind of a while ago, and this is pretty much interesting stuff, more in a vein of new jazz, trip hop, singer-songwriter a little bit, and more organic stuff. Not what I usually listen to a lot, but I found out that it's stuff I really like, and I guess I'm gonna go into that kind of direction a little more, also DJ-wise maybe. So the next DJ show I have, as you've seen in the last video, will also be in the vein of trip hop and dub and down-tempo stuff. So I'm gonna explore that a little bit more. The label is called Playdate Records. It's been released a few weeks ago actually, I guess, and it's the 8th release on the label. So it's pretty much recent, but I'm not too sure if you can find that in a store near you, because that kind of stuff from Norway seems to be a little tricky in terms of distribution, because I don't know, there's not much of that kind of jazzy stuff going on in Germany as far as I see it around in distributors we deal with in the record store I work at. So I don't know. And the next one is Vitor Joachim's Geography on the Portuguese label Chronica Electronica. There's the cover. Interesting concept in here. This is how the CD looks like, and here's an old map of the world and stuff, and this is the back. More electronic stuff, and the concept behind this album is that he states that the development of mankind has been heavily influenced by the kind of landscape people are surrounded, and by the environment people are surrounded with. So development of mankind in Europe went different than the development of mankind in like Africa or in South America or wherever, because the people were exposed to different environments, and this is what this album deals with, like as a meta theme, I guess. Eight titles on here, and if you love your like ambient music, mostly ambient music, a little bit crackly, vintage sounding and organic, and like also referencing to Markus Pop's Oval project in his early days, to paint a rough picture, this is what like Geography is about, the new album by Vitor Joachim. And the label Chronica Electronica you have seen also a lot, and I get a lot of promos by them, and usually it's good electronic stuff, pretty much in the vein of electronica and ambient. Not that dancey, but more like good listening music, so if you're into that, check this one out. Next one is a reissue, actually. Mike and Rich, Expert Knob Twiddlers, new album on Planet Mu. Originally it was released on Reflex, like a double CD, 2 CD album. And interestingly, this project, what is happening here? Okay, here's the other side, so it folds out a little bit. Interestingly, this was released on Reflex first, and Mike and Rich is obviously Mike Paradinas and Affix twin, Richard D. James, and this was an album released back in 1996, I guess. That's not stated on the CD, but I guess it was 1996, where they were like joining studio together and like for the first time producing with each other. And interestingly, on this album, it's not only the original versions like remastered from that, but also on the second CD there are 7 other tracks. Well, what's happening there? There's like police or fire department. That's more like police, I guess. I don't know. So there's 7 additional tracks on the second CD, which are versions and mixes that didn't make it to the original album, and or like alternative versions. Now it's re-released, and yeah, it's basically good brain dance, which definitely fits to what Reflex defined their sound as back in the days. So they were like coining the term brain dance as an overall like theme for their releases, and this is pretty much funk, or I would say funk, P-H-O-N-K, electronic funk, and this is like influenced by easy listening a lot, and also by like British theme songs and like TV commercial music and stuff. And also this picture on the cover, I hope you can see that, is like in Germany there was a company that was not called MR Games, which is like a mock-up of that. You can see MR Games here. It was called MB Präsentiert, MB Presents. It was the theme in Germany, and they had a commercial for that specific game, which I don't know what the original name of is, which had a pretty much similar picture to this cover. So this is more like mocking an advertisement and stuff. So interesting, definitely a great piece of music history in terms of electronic music, also available on vinyl. I got this sent as CD. The vinyl is, I guess, a triple album, so might be a little bit on the pricey side, but if you're into like well twisted electronic music with like a good tongue-in-cheek humor, this is definitely one to go. And the next one is a more like a box set. This is Heretics by Ann James Shatton, Andy Moore and Thurston Muir of Sonic Youth. This is like a pretty massive box set, which is really interesting. Comes with a lot of stuff, and actually this brown thing over here is like the same thing you have on the side of a box of matches. So if you put a match on that, it will like definitely light on fire. And interestingly, this one comes with this is a very nice thing here, with an additional like match for like a long candle or whatever. So a lot of stuff in here, as I said. So there is a CD, which is actually the album, which an art print with an art print on the back side. Then there is a making of, of the whole album and also the performance. It also has a nice art print on the back, and here's a full lyric book. You see all the lyrics here, which is the words for Heretics. And well, it's hard to describe, but it's definitely a great album. Well, pretty much influenced both by like spoken word and like, yeah, post-punk, no wave music, a little bit of Burroughs-esque approach in terms of vocals, and it's pretty great to see how the album came together in like over a period of a few weeks, I guess, and it was filmed all the time, and like, so you have a great documentary on how these three people worked together and put this album into pieces. So put this album into pieces was possibly wrong, so more like putting this album together, I think. And it's a nice box set. I don't know who is like doing the distribution for that, but this was, although it is on CD, definitely my #1 album for this month, and luckily I got this sent as a promo, so I wrote a very extended review on my website nightstyle.de about this. And if you're like into concept albums and like into music documentary and also into that post-punk wave thing, so you highly recommend it to get this, and also if you're a Sonic Youth fan, of course. Next one is like a pretty heavy thing of vinyl. It's actually a gatefold album, but I prefer to keep that original wrapping around, so I haven't opened this. This is a Filaggrin, the album, and this came as a 4 12-inch album. All black vinyl, looks like this, and I totally love the Filaggrin logo for sure. And if you are like, here's the backside, there's like 9 tracks on here, and if you are kind of into drum and bass and old school jungle, you will definitely know what this is all about. Filaggrin has put out a bunch of massive like jungle and early drum and bass hits in the past, and a few of them are remixed on this one. For example, like Gangster by, I guess, Trinity, which is also an alias of Dillinger, the very famous drum and bass producer who had for a while the heaviest and like most aggressive bass drops in drum and bass, because he did some crazy trickery with his like technology and stuff. As Firefox by Rogers, also a pretty much big jungle hit, and also he's remixed by Blade Runner here. The Warning, Firefox and Fortree, you will all know that if you, well, actually that was one of the biggest jungle and early drum and bass tunes. You know, this is a warning, 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 warning. You know that song. And yeah, some more newer tracks, original tracks, not remixes, was pretty much good rolling Bristol drum and bass. Not that much recognizable as like single big tunes when it comes to the new ones, but also good tools for DJs and stuff. So if you like the Bristol vibe, this is definitely a heavy drum and bass pack. So Filaggrin, the album, definitely a good one. And this also comes with an additional CD, which is this one with a 20-track, 60 minutes drum and bass DJ mix. So if you enjoy listening to drum and bass in the mix, is also good stuff. Next one, also a double gatefold album, Zombie Slow Future, with maybe the best artwork these days on Versatile Records. This is the back, and there is like 4 tracks on here, each track spanning 10 minutes plus, and also black vinyl, but the artwork looks like this on each and every vinyl record. And this is a great project. Definitely, I discovered them in 2010 when Zombie was releasing that Zombie Plays John Carpenter, where they did like neo-cosmic cover versions of like John Carpenter movie themes. And this one is also very much in the realm of cosmic, or as you might call it in the States, cosmic music, like a very much slow motion, synth-driven, futuristic, retro-futuristic stuff. Each track is like 10 minutes plus, so it does totally make sense that it like runs out over like 4 sides of vinyl for 4 tracks, and great artwork, and definitely recommend it for everyone. States like it's just like a soundtrack to a performance, which is what I get from the French lettering here, but I'm not too sure if that's really true because I don't speak any French. So if anyone has this album and does speak French and like can read this properly, please let me know. And finally, Detroit Tech Life. Any questions? DJ Rashad Afterlife. Well, I totally gotta big up the whole Tech Life crew for keeping and valuing the legacy of their founder DJ Rashad, for sure, in terms of like releasing his old, or not old music, but unreleased tracks like Step by Step. That's a massive album for all those who are like into ghetto bass, footwork, juke, and all that newer like bass music, high-speed bass music, dance music coming from Detroit. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. This is not Detroit, this is Chicago. So to any Tech Life fans, like, sorry, I haven't been able to embrace that in my mind. So yeah, Chicago, not big up the South Side and stuff. And this is what the vinyl looks like. All tracks here. Really good one. 8 tracks. 15 tracks on here, because it's a double album. And like as usual in juke and footwork stuff, a lot of collaborations. So we have like Rashad teaming up with Gantman, with DJ Spin, with Teso, with DJ Manny, with like Boyle and Tech Life, and all other people of the crew. Also DJ PayPal, who has like released on a Ninja Tune associated label recently, and one really interesting mashup, which is High on Hope, which is on A4, which is a mashup of a machine drum tune with Microglobes, High on Hope, which was a big techno hit in the mid-90s, so, or techno trance hit in the mid-90s, and I didn't. When I saw that track popping up on SoundCloud like a month ago, I was like pretty much wondering if this will ever be put out on vinyl, because I wasn't too sure if that's really like an official mashup, and if that's really like, if the samples were cleared and all that. But obviously they have put that out, and it's a great one. And yeah, Tech Life is the staple crew to go for in Chicago for footwork and stuff. So, and juke, the most interesting electronic music around maybe these days when it comes to dancier stuff. And it's the first release on their label, and I'm pretty much curious what they're gonna put out as like third and fourth and whatever, what's coming from the archives of DJ Rashad's work from the past. So yeah, if you're into electronic dance music, this is the album to go for this month for sure. Tech Life 01, DJ Rashad Afterlife. So yeah, this is what I'm into this month musically, and I hope you like what you've seen, and excuse me for like mixing up Detroit and Chicago. This usually never happens, but for some reason my mind is like a little bit twisted today, so maybe this is where this originated. Anyway, I'm out for today, going into editing and stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, or leave me a thumbs up if you like this one. Leave me a comment, leave me your favorite albums and stuff, and I hope to see you soon in the next one. So see you later.